What is up, group members? It's Dr. J here. We also got Dr. Jess. We got KBI. Who we don't have is K10. Oh. K10 is not here. She's out there. I heard with her family. Apparently, family, greater sign, us in the pod, in the mental health community. Hashtag no judgment. Hashtag a little bit of judgment. But we're here talking about Sunday Scaries. And we don't mean Sunday that you get from the ice cream shop. We mean the day of the week, Sunday Scaries. We're going to jump right in. I'm going to hit you with this. Before we define it, even though I bet people have an idea what Sunday Scaries are, give me what % of the time in your current life do you experience Sunday Scaries KBI? Currently.
Like maybe 15%.
15. We love that. 15. What about if we zoom back to January of this year?
Every fucking Sunday.
There we go. 100% of the time earlier this year, every Sunday.
Unless it was a Monday holiday.
Okay.
So maybe like 99%.
Barring the holidays that got you out of your old job. That says a lot.
Yeah.
Jess, hit us with it.
Well, so KB, I love that you said it, unless it was a Monday holiday, because literally my first mind went to, okay, so I know we have like Labor Day, Memorial Day, MLK Day. How many Monday holidays are there? Trying to do math.
She's trying to do the percentage.
She was really
doing
trying.
The percentage, like divided by 52 times 100.
Jeez, Jess.
Yeah, but that was my first thought. But honestly, like true Sunday Scaries, it's hit or miss with me. So I'm going to say 50% of the time, because I think a lot of it honestly depends on how my weekend was and if I felt like I actually got a break or like enjoyed it. And if not, if my weekend felt short, then I'm like, oh gosh, and now I have to start the work week and feeling anxious and da-da-da-da. What about you, Justin?
Yeah, it was so funny because I was hovering right around what KVI said. Like I was thinking, I'm like, for the first thing I thought was 20%. And then I'm like, no, I bet it's like around 15. I bet it's lower than that. So, but again, if you would ask me when I worked in my old system job where I had far less control of my schedule in my life, it would have been, probably at least 60, 65% more than not. On Sunday, I felt the scaries. What the hell is this? How do you know you're having Sunday Scaries?
I think it's that, like that dread that sets in the day and the day before your work week starts, whether that is a Sunday and a Monday, whether your work week starts on whatever, but it's that dread, that anxiety, that increased perk of stress, that piece of, I wish tomorrow was another Sunday so that I didn't have to go to work. And not just, and I say that there is a difference between, I wish I didn't have capitalism and had to work. It's more like I am dreading the idea of getting up and going to my place of employment, my school, my whatever my obligations are during that week. That there is a above reaction of just general like life. Like, I wish I could sleep in tomorrow. Like that would be nice.
Yeah, for me, it's usually the statement like, I don't want to go to work tomorrow. And I want to make it very clear in case any of my clients are listening. It's not the clients. It's not I love my job. It's the fact of like just restarting the work week and not feeling like the weekend was long enough. But for me, I also find a lot of like, oh my gosh, okay, so tomorrow I have this and then Tuesday I have that meeting and then and it's like going through that to-do list and kind of that future orientation anxiety about what's to come rather than being able to focus on the present moment and enjoying my weekend. So if I start finding like I'm spending usually like mid-afternoon Sunday to start being like, oh my gosh, what do I need to do? I need to do X, Y, or Z for this work week. I need to, prep X, Y, or Z. That's when I'm like, oh, okay, Jess, you're getting a little bit of the Sunday Scaries.
Yeah.
How about for you, Justin?
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, I go into that worry mode. Dread is the first thing I feel. So when KBI said that off the bat, I'm like, yeah, it's just like, oh, and it's the same thing, Jess. It's not to do with the clients so much, especially now, because I don't experience Sunday Scaries as much. It's more just missing and longing for the weekend. Everybody's working for the weekend, right? Like, where you have the freedom, you have the openness. Maybe you did something really cool or you did nothing and it was just amazing. So just getting back in the schedule, maybe I have a lot of different tasks on my plate. And I'm just like, it's just the harsh changing of gears that feels like, but to the level of dread you feel it, I feel like is it a problem or is this just us longing for the weekend forever?
Yeah.
And I think that's where there's a clear distinction. Like, it's okay to like not want to go into work on Monday because everybody, like, again, everybody would love to just have every Monday off, right? Or whatever it is. But it's that piece of like, this is causing me distress. This is causing me, like, I get anxious and I struggle to fall asleep on a Sunday night. And I think that is where that balance is, because even like, I know I said 15%, like there are still days on Sunday I'm like, oh, I don't want to get up at 6:00 tomorrow morning, 7, like, I don't want to. That doesn't scream Sunday Scaries to me. Versus when I was in my previous job, I would literally be like, I hope I wake up with a fever tomorrow. So I don't have to go into school. When I got to work, when I got COVID, I was like, cool, I don't have to go to work. Like that is a sign of that Sunday Scaries. In a way of like, what can I do again to avoid to a exponential level?
So what do we do about this? Especially if we're circling around, because I'm with you, KBI, of like, when it's at the severity that it's like almost every Sunday and it's just the dread, it's the anxiety, it plagues your Sunday. It's no longer Sunday fun day. It's Sunday scary dread day. It's like, what do we do about this? What solutions have you seen with clients you work with or even for yourself?
I mean, if you're KBI, you quit your job.
You quit your job. But
that comes with privilege. Yeah.
But that does come with privilege.
Yeah.
But I mean, the reality is I remember making a TikTok where I was like, quit that toxic job. Obviously have a plan. I mean, you can just straight up quit your job. Anybody can. But I always tell people, like, create a plan. Like, you don't have to put in your 2 weeks notice today, but you can start. Like, before I put in my notice, there was already gears in motion for months prior of like, I think I'm going to be leaving. If an opportunity comes up, I will take it. And then an incident happened where I was like, this is icing on the cake. I am done. And I was like, I'm looking for jobs. And I didn't put in my notice till a month and a half later because I needed to make sure I had another place of employment. Again, it comes with privilege, but if you're getting to the point where that is like that, it's taking that evaluation of, do I have the ability to make a shift and make a big shift? And if the answer is yes, cool, start that plan. And if the answer is no, there are things that we can do within that to help navigate that.
And that's exactly what I was going to throw out, because I agree with you. Of like, I know clients I've had, they start planting the seeds, getting the CV ready, doing the things to look down other roads, other avenues. But what if it's a student, high school student? What if it's a middle school student? I see Jess smiling. I know she works with the youth. What do we do? What do we do then?
So a thing I do for myself, but also clients, is like asking them or asking myself, what is worrying about starting the work week doing for me? Is there anything that worrying about the work week, the school week, whatever it is, on a Sunday that is beneficial to me? Am I suddenly like getting ahead on my work? No, like I'm not getting ahead. Could I like sit down and like prep for client? I could, but that's not how I want to spend my weekend. So like I always ask my clients, is there anything within this situation that like you could do, for example, that would make your work week easier, would calm your anxiety? So I'm thinking of students like, yeah, if you didn't finish your homework, you probably, need to do that. If that's why you're dreading to go to school Monday. Okay. But like, if it's more like, I just don't want to get up in the morning and go to my job and I'm worried about X, Y, or Z happening, like worrying is taking away from your weekend. What can you do to enjoy your weekend? I don't work with adults really. And the ones I do work with don't have like salaried jobs. They're usually college students. But for me, like I'm not getting paid to do work on weekends. I'm not getting paid to worry on weekends. So like focusing on like asking yourself, what is this like ruminating on Monday morning doing for me? Can I control that tomorrow is going to be Monday? No. Like that's just how the week works. This is out of my control. So what can I do to focus on the present moment and enjoy my weekend?
Yeah, because cutting out half your Sundays, because I know a lot of our Sunday Scaries, it's around that afternoon, kind of evening time where it starts to set in and you're staring into space, trying to finish up a show or something you started on the weekend. And you're just like, I'm not even watching that. You know what I'm talking about. But I agree, like you lose that time. I also think for a lot of people, and this could apply to like minors, but especially for adults, I think some of this comes down to you're not planning anything fun, exciting, stimulating during your damn week. And I'm talking to myself because I've been here many a times. My week is empty of literally anything. Could be on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever, where I'm looking forward to. And if that is every single week and you are literally crawling to make it to the weekend, I don't care what job you have, it's going to be a problem. 4 to 5 days. I know some of you had that 4-day work week and we're happy for you. But 4 to 5 days every week where you have little to no activities that you look forward to. Yeah, that's an issue. That's a big issue that needs to be addressed. But everybody says, I don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have time. You do have time. You have some time.
Yeah. I absolutely agree with that. And kind of like I said earlier, alluding to myself, I find I get the Sunday Scaries more when I also didn't do fun things on the weekends. If my weekend is, I don't know, I was going to say just like, I don't know, different obligations for things. Let's just say that. And I didn't feel like I really had time to like do things that maybe I would have chose to do. And then I go into a work week where I'm also not planning like fun activities and things like that. It's like you're not getting a break or not prioritizing things that align with your values. I feel like we bring up values every single episode.
But it's true.
Things that like energize you, excite you. But I think that was a really good point, Justin. Because like if you think every Wednesday you plan, I don't know, happy hour with friends. Okay, well, I only have to get through Monday, Tuesday, then Wednesday is going to be here. And that's something to look forward to. Yeah. Or could you even plan something on a Monday after work to make it less scary, less full of dread?
Yeah, I agree with that. This was something I was reading about, so I don't want to take credit for it in thinking about the Sunday Scaries, where a lot of us put off work we really don't want to do. And it could be school related too, on Thursday and Friday, saying, I'm going to do this Monday. Listen, been there, done that. But it literally is just, that's the fuel for your Sunday Scary. Yeah. Versus being like, yo, I can take care of this. I have an hour and a half left at work, or I have an hour and a half left before I'm going out with friends and I'm in school and I'm going to put the books down. If you take advantage of that time, Monday you and Sunday you is going to be so grateful. But I know a lot of times we take the pass, and that's what's building like the mountain that hits us on a Monday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, that's like what I do. And I actually shock a lot of people with this is I actually take an hour most Sunday nights and I sit down at my desk. I do my timesheet for my job and I make my to-do list for the week and I look at my schedule. Okay. Yes, I am working on a Sunday, but that works for me now in this position because my work week is so flexible and I'm not crispy and burnt out and I'm actually really truly enjoying all the work that I do, that I utilize that. So probably helps those Sunday Scaries because I'm like, wow, like I have everything laid out for my week already.
Yeah.
And that's something I totally agree with. And it goes back to something Jess was talking about, where it's like, if you're already going to be worrying about it, if it's already taking up your mental space, then dedicate some time to it. Mm-hmm. Like and I agree, you'll be far better off spending that hour, Sunday evening. Like, and I do that a lot too. I do a lot of my building and some of my notes Sunday night before the work week, but it helps me feel like that's off me when I wake up tomorrow morning. And it's kind of peaceful. I kind of do that before I go to Netflix or I watch Sunday Night Football or something like that. But it's like that little like reconnect where it's not just me avoiding and worrying about it. It's like, no, I'm going to put energy towards it. I'm going to take care of it. And now it's no longer on me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Justin, going back to something you said a few minutes ago about, putting off tasks till Monday, which was so relatable, and something I've started doing for myself for outside of the Sunday Scaries, just in general, is asking myself or telling myself tomorrow me or Monday me will appreciate you doing this. Because there have been so many times where, I'm done with all my work for the day, but maybe it's 4 and I'm like, I could leave now. Or I could spend 15, 20 minutes answering these emails, getting these things off my to-do list. So tomorrow me is not overwhelmed and overburdened in the morning. And obviously that comes with some flexibility and stuff, but that's something that has really helped me. I think I've brought this up on the podcast. Gas is a big thing I'll do that for. So if I don't run as low as you two.
Yo, it's 2 against 1. I
know. I'm outnumbered. But for me, when I know I need to get gas, if I'm driving home, I'm tomorrow me will thank me for getting gas versus in the morning. Because I've done that too. Speaking of Sunday Scaries, I have definitely done it where it's a Friday and I'm exhausted. I'm I don't really have to drive anywhere this week. And I wake up Monday, I'm already stressed. And I'm and my gas tank's empty. Yeah. Now I have to go get gas on top of it. And that just sets the tone for the day. I don't know. But that's something that I have personally found helpful. Future me will thank me for doing this task. Mm-hmm. Future me will thank me for answering this email or sending this thing.
Well, and I like what you said, Jess, because I'll do that too, where let's say I have an extra hour, right? It's kind of I'm going to share this with tomorrow me. I'm going to take a half hour of this because I know that tomorrow me is going to get that half hour. Mm-hmm. And kind of I've kind of shared that just in a future. And sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm today, I need that full hour.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
But it's looking at that. But me and you do not align on the gas thing. That is always and tomorrow's
Justin.
problem.
He had 7 miles in your gas tank when we were in Florida?
And that I took a video and I forgot to send it to y'all, but I took a video of I was being safe, y'all. I was at the destination, but it had said it was past 0. like in your range, it was past 0, and it just gives you the lines. Like it gives you, once you are on fumes, it won't even tell you your zero, your range is 0.
Like,
it'll just
30
put lines.
You have like 1 gallon of fuel in once it hits 0.
Yeah.
So you know.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
I honestly don't even know if I've ever fallen below like 40 miles left.
What? No.
You can get
My
down to
gas light comes on around 78 miles.
No.
Yeah.
See, my brain immediately is like, oh, if I have 40 miles, I could get down to at least Key Largo and be down there having a pina colada.
I filled up today at 22 miles because I knew I had to drive home and it was 37 miles. That is the only reason why I filled up.
Look at you doing some future planning.
Okay.
Staying safe.
Oh,
I'm
no,
proud of you.
if it was 38 miles in my tank and it was only 30, I would absolutely be driving home.
Same. 100%.
On that tank of gas.
I need K10 back.
You do need K10.
But you also
K10,
the gas station by my house pumps the gas for you.
Whoa.
I don't even have to get
Are you in New Jersey?
Throwback.
It's one gas station. I pay the 10 cents extra for them to pump my gas.
Interesting.
Like, it's always 10 cents higher. Don't even care. Because I don't have to get out of my car when it's 28 freaking degrees out.
Yeah, no thank you. No thanks. Yeah, but to circle back on something, I agree with everything that's being said from KBI on this specific matter. But I agree that for people who are in high stress jobs and they're not leaving anytime soon, you hate high school or, college is just stressful for you and you're not changing degrees. There is something to be said of when you do have the time, so the weekend hits, whatever, what are you doing? And it's not to put it on you, but it is. The only other thing you got, and Jess alluded to this a lot, is the things you put your energy to. Are they filling up your cup? Are they avoiding? Are they just sort of neutral? Mm-hmm. And I've certainly worked with clients who are sort of in that realm. They're not quitting their job anytime soon. They're not bailing on med school. So it's really like we need to really break down how you spend your Saturdays, because it's not going to be sexy, but you have to start doing activities that make you feel like a human being. Mm-hmm. And I lived it too through grad school at different times. Sometimes I was a zombie, sometimes I was a human, but the times I really concentrated on what will really make me feel better and I have to go do it, it worked better than the times I was just like stuck on my couch.
Yeah.
And again, I was tired. Everyone's tired. It's not to like be like sort of shameful in any way, but it did help me curve towards, okay, now I feel better because I'm spending my time in a way that like energizes me versus just sort of letting it drift through my hands.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I know we already touched on this, but especially as you were talking about that, reflecting on what you said earlier, Justin, about also including those things during your work week. And I know I've fallen, not victim to this, but like I've done this before.
Sure.
Like I just don't have time. Like,
oh yeah,
I'm exhausted, things like that. But like, if you're doing things that fill your cup, you're going to feel better.
You're going to.
Like, and, looking forward to things, or even could there be things within your workday, especially on Monday? Like if you have time and flexibility, like on your lunch break, I don't do this as much as I used to because I do notes on my lunch break while I'm eating, which is not a great thing to do. But like, I used to try very hard to like go on walks during my lunch break just to like get outside and things like that, just to make my work day a little better and I don't know, get some fresh air rather than being in. So especially like on Mondays, if there is, or like, is there a coworker you love to joke around with and can you focus on like, okay, well, at least I get to see this coworker, like we talked about in past episode with friendships and work friends, and you can commiserate with them and things like that. Like, are there things within, especially the Monday, or any first day of the week that you can look forward to within that day?
I think there's other planning things as well. Like again, some of this comes down to you have more control, but like, don't put your most dreadful tasks on Monday. Like, I think it's probably better to have an arc to your work week. Like, try putting those on Tuesday. Give yourself a little warm up on Monday. You know, maybe put it on the Wednesday, knowing tomorrow's Thursday, and then we're almost there. I think there can be some thoughtful, and I'm thinking of clients I've worked with in the past, like small shifts in things that make it more manageable. Or sometimes it is the structure, the way we schedule things, because it's just what's familiar. And then we make a few shifts and we're like, okay, it does feel a bit better now.
Yeah. No, that's a really good point, and kind of ties back to what you were saying about like postponing tasks till Monday. Because I know for me, once Friday hits, like if I can leave early on a Friday, I will leave early on a Friday.
Absolutely.
But then if I leave early and don't do those emails I could have just, done, or these things, you come in Monday. But yeah, if you have some flexibility or control over your schedule, making it lighter, or like scheduling meetings not on Monday. Like you don't want to start your work week with a bunch of meetings.
Let's get a little warm up day in. If we're speaking to any managers out there, have some peace. Put it on a Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's funny. It's weird thinking about how things like motivate us. Cause like right now, like on Fridays, I know I'm like, get me to pickleball, get me to like happy hour with my friends, like get me out. But when I was in undergrad, I was able to do a lot of like studying and prep on Friday before it was like going out back-to-back days. I think because I just knew Friday night through Saturday was going to be I was going to be so disconnected from school that it helped me study a lot right before that. But that's why it's like you've got to figure out what works well for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The old Sunday Scaries. Well, if you're experiencing it, you can always quit your job, just like KBI said. Just kidding. KBI did not say that, but you can start getting curious about what other paths might be right for you. We can also think about how we're spending our time and our energy. And we globally agree on this panel, to all the bosses and managers out there, stop putting shit on Monday. Is what you're getting.
That's the takeaway.
That's the takeaway. Welcome to group therapy. Just co-signed it. Give us a buffer day, a little warm-up day. Get a little pep in our step day. Y'all, we always appreciate you being here. We hope you're enjoying these short sessions. We love chatting with you. We always love answering your questions, engaging with you in our big, bad apps. If you haven't listened to one of those, tune in every single Monday. All right, y'all. We'll see you next time here on Group Therapy.
Bye.
Bye.